Okay. Ooh. Sorry, I have to hold the camera. I am in LA right now, and I want to talk about the final hours. Some things have been coming up, and it's really in my face what's going on out there with a whole sector of people. This could be you. I have a very, very stern, let's just say, words of caution for you to make you aware of what your choices are right now that aren't going to be easy to make, but something has come to my attention, and I want to talk about the final hour, and I don't want that to be a negative. People see titles and they assume what's going to be in these videos. They're always good and positive. I'm always here to guide you to something lighter, brighter, amazing, more powerful. So you never have to worry about those titles. I just want to get your attention, but I'm really meaning what I'm saying. These are the final hours. You ready for this? Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. I'm trying to get a good angle here. Ooh, just got out of bed. Los Angeles, I was here for Christina Lacchiani's VIP party, her book release, Becoming Flawsome, and I met amazing people. I met other influencers and people who are doing things for a living to make a difference on this planet. Yeah? Well, we all have that choice, and I want to talk about choice today. Last week, I opened up my coaching to all my students and to you if you're on my email list. You know, I think it's right here. I give offers every once in a while, and a lot of people took me up on it. Coaching, I don't always do that one-on-one. But here's what I found out was going on through these coaching sessions. I kept hearing the same thing over and over again. People are expiring their law of attraction techniques that aren't working, and when they work the way they want them to, don't satisfy. This was over and over and over again. Now here's, when you come to me, what's going to happen, and this is why I'm calling it the final hours. We do have an illusion expiration date. The Matrix does give us limitations with these bodies and everything else that goes on here as part of the illusion, the experience of endings. Now, we really don't have endings. We know that, so you never have to worry about that. However, we do have an expiration date for the role you're playing here. And what's happening right now is we're going into what I call the final hours. The reason I say that is there are certain goals and achievements that you can step into right now that are very different from you manifesting things, money, and that world out there that you want to change. Now, I talk a lot about this, and people actually don't like this because they want to come to me, and because I teach advanced manifesting, but I only do it under one circumstance. People will come to me, they cannot go into those techniques or courses unless they're on an advanced level. What does that mean? Advanced means high frequency. Doesn't mean I can manifest anything, because Hitler manifested crazy stuff, right? What I want you to do is understand that when you come from a high frequency, what you manifest is completely different, and what you get from it is a totally different ballgame, because you're not relying on the material world to make you happy. Now, here's what people don't want to hear. When they come to me and they want to fix it, more money. How do I get more money? How do I make that person stop acting a certain way? That was really the biggest one. I said, you don't. None of it's satisfied, has it? And we know, year after year after year, it never really does, and we're not catching on. There's another way. And so, when you're in ego state, and you don't want to believe that you can't do something to make yourself happy. You don't want to believe it. You want to still hang on to that law of attraction, I'll get something and it'll solve my problems. Then you have to accept the fact that there's something greater and deeper. And the ego doesn't want to do that. So when you're in ego state and you want to manifest things to solve your problems, the last thing you want to hear from me is that you have to let it all go. In fact, you'll go into a state of empowerment and abundance and health and joy that far surpasses anything the material world or your law of attraction techniques can get you. The final hours are that if you don't go into that space, you will miss the opportunity to go into the new earth. The new earth functions on that level. That's all it is. It's a dimension that exists here while you're standing next to somebody. They could be living in the new earth dimension right here. And you could be experiencing, hell on earth. It's a perception. It's a reality. It's a frequency. It's not a physical, and our ego says, oh, there's a physical world that we go to. Aliens will come pick us up and take us to another planet, because the ego can't comprehend something beyond the physical world. The final hours are here for you in your role. You are energy. You cannot be created nor destroyed. You always have been, always will be. But this is a unique experience that you signed up for. And I don't want you to let that go without understanding, as your choice, whether you want to go into that space of all empowerment, miracles, or if you want to keep your law of attraction techniques. And I'm telling you, none of it has ever satisfied. I've never met one person that said, oh, it solved my problems. In fact, all of them have gone deeper into unhappiness. Why? Because the ego wanted it to solve a problem, and it never does. So this endless cycle of dissatisfaction with getting and never getting enough. It can't end until you let go of that ego. The ego doesn't have to die. And we talk about the ego dying. It just has to step aside. The ego protects you. But when we allow it, and we're in unconsciousness, when we allow it to rule us, then everything's about the outside world. And then you blame the outside world. This is a big one. They're a problem. No, they're not a problem. They're your best teachers. My response is everything. That person that annoys you, no matter who it is, yeah, they're the test. They will stay there, remain in your life. These things will continually keep showing up. All kinds of problems will start to show up that you perceive as problems, because you are in the final hours of your learning experience, and now these things are coming to the forefront to allow you to expand into awakening. And a lot of you aren't doing it. You're still wanting me to tell you how to manifest something, to fix the outside world. You don't control the outside world, you create it. So, what does that mean? You can't control somebody else's behavior. They have free will, but you create your own reality. In other words, you will see them differently. So that person that's annoying, when you go into compassion, you will see the pain in them, the fear, and their intensity. Now, if you respond with density, double whammy. You create struggle, therefore you live in struggle. And they pick up on that, and they, as a lower frequency ego, will struggle back with you. And so conflict gets multiplied. Now, what if I send my light and love, no matter what? Unconditional love, no matter what. This you do to the least of us, you do to me. Who's me? All of us. So it's easy to help somebody who's grateful. But what if they're not? What if they, in your face? The ego wants a response even to giving. If I give, you should act a certain way. That's not true giving. That's the ego wanting accolades. I'm a good person. Labeling themselves. I'm a good person. See, I give. No, you're an ego that wants to be seen as a good person. And even though you get satisfaction of giving, it's still the ego doing it because, see, they were happy. But what if they're not? What if they have no gratitude toward you? Awakening is having no expectations or requirements from the other. It's loving them anyways and knowing they're still coming from a pain, not in a judgment way. So a lot of spiritual people that go, oh, I'm awakened and you're not. No, that's ego. No, you're not awakened if you're talking that way because you're seeing them as somebody less than, lower than you. Oh, no, I'm not. Yes, you are. You're labeling and separating. That's all. So we're going to an extreme, advanced level of awakening. That's letting go of the labels, the separation, taking sides. So awakened people don't take sides. There's no good nor bad, and you guys struggle with that terribly. It's created by us. We didn't come here. It's not chaotic on here. Chaos is intelligence. It all has purpose. The one doesn't make mistakes. Source is so intelligent. Everything absolutely is exactly the way it should be. And you and I are the ones making the choices that are creating that world out there. Source isn't doing that or inflicting that on us. It's allowing us to make choices because it's experiencing that through us. It is us. We are the creators. We're the finger on the body. We're the ear or the nose. And so the final hour is your responsibility, if you choose. Mission impossible. Or you can sit back, think you're getting away with something in your material world, but you never do. You don't get out of it. That's why you came here. What are you going to do with it? It's not nice to hear that you have to do the work because the ego doesn't want to hear that. But when you go out of ego, you won't want to do anything but go into a space of service to others. Is not giving up. You're not giving up anything when you do that. In fact, abundance and health and all the wonderful things, great relationships are all going to come to you because you're doing that. Why? Because now you're sending out the message, there are no problems, I'm compassionate, unconditional love, and you will receive that immediately. Immediately. It is part of your energy field at that moment. So this is what you want to go into, but it has to be authentic. You can't do it because you want to receive something back for it. That's still ego. Well, how do I do this? Guess what? Let go all of those thoughts and judgments of anything. Quit labeling that person that you find's a problem. Say, thank you. You just tested me. Now I know. Sitting up on, you hear me say this, sitting up on the mountain with my little rice, meditating. I'm enlightened. I'm awakened. The world is wonderful. And then, like Eckhart Tolle says, spend a week with your parents and see if you're all that. Probably not, right? You have to be tested. So if you're getting tested right now, it's the final hours giving you a chance to make that choice. That's exactly what it is. The final hours. All of a sudden things aren't going right. Actually, they're going very right. Now you're getting the opportunities that you came here for, that you ordered. And you're going to think somebody else is doing it to you. It's not. It's you doing it because you've exhausted everything else. And guess what? You're ready. I assure you, it's not an easy pathway because you still experience the pain of the planet, but you no longer struggle or suffer. Suffering's when you don't accept it. You think it's wrong, it shouldn't be this way. All right? So when you go into a space of awakening, you have an acceptance, but you're sending your light and love to the planet, and you will absolutely change the universe that way. Just your one thought. Just one thought does that. Imagine what would happen if you made an effort in your life to be the compassionate person. So instead of seeing the other as the problem, you see fear and pain in them. And you send light and love. You don't have to stand and talk to them or like them or approve them. You don't have to do anything. They don't have to be your friend. But send light and love without judgment and say, you know what? They're in a dark place. They're in a dark place. I send light into that space. I don't have to analyze it. And all of a sudden, they might turn around and treat you differently. They pick up on it. You and I are one. We're all one energy. We're a shared collective. But within it, you get to make individual choices. What are you going to do? Final hours. You can go into amazing space. And from there, we go into that great awakening of the golden era that's already happening. If you're not feeling it, you can join us anytime you want. Again, the challenges will not go away. But you won't be on this roller coaster of emotions. It'll be up here doing this, not down here going up and down, up and down. Money! No money. Great relationship. Oh, I got dumped. Job! It's endless. You tired of it? Ready to come over? I need to jump in the shower and do something with my... This looks like a wig, doesn't it? You know, you are absolutely perfect and unconditionally loved. Can you see it in somebody else? Everything else is the illusion of hurt and pain. It's density and unconsciousness. That's all it is. But behind those veils is a perfect light being. here that hasn't found their way through those veils yet, and they can't do it with you criticizing or wanting them to go away or judging them. You're down there with them. In fact, that's a lower frequency than their own fear that they're spewing out. Send them light and love. No thought behind it, just light and love. I send you peace, my friend. I send you peace. I send you peace. I hope that you will subscribe. Is it over here? Subscribe. These are free. If you want to get my coaching, I have a special going on right now. People are really taking advantage of it, and we're making big strides. But I won't tell you how to manifest a lottery win. Okay? You can do that with what I teach you, but you're going to take it up a notch, and you're going to get way more than that. You may get the lottery win and peace and joy and a simpler, healthier life that you never imagined possible. Because all things are possible. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. I'll see you back in Florida. Namaste.